Hey guys, Legendary Grimlock here, and today we're going to be covering can Bayverse Optimus solo the Monsterverse. Just like Showa Gamera, Zilla Jr., Nergigante, and now Bayverse Optimus, we're going to be doing the same thing with those. Optimus Prime runs a gauntlet, and this one might be a little bit simpler, maybe a little bit shorter, not sure. But here's the thing, we're going to establish some rules here. So obviously, if you guys have watched some of my previous videos where I also had composite Bayverse versus composite Monsterverse Optimus Prime, where both get to like the hyperversal to even outerversal levels, because again, you can scale them that high with composite scaling here. Yeah, we're gonna keep it straight up canon for both sides here. If you guys didn't realize that here. So this means Optimus Prime won't have any of his Darkspark feats, because if you guys look into the context of the Rise of the Darkspark story, the Darkspark is an artifact that can actually produce an explosion to send itself outside of its universal stream. Each universal stream is basically a multiverse in the Transformers cosmology, which consists of a 17 to 22 spatial brand dimensionality. And this would put this at either a high hyperversal level, and then you have the sheer fact that Optimus is also able to combat this kind of force or this kind of energy, and this would make him, you know, borderline outerversal here. Now, as for the way we're doing this here, Bayverse Optimus will be fully equipped here. He will have his Vector Shield and his Sword of Judgment as well. So he'll be having those two, and he'll be fully, you know, healed for every matchup here. I think that's should be pretty simple for each one. I mean, why would I have them go from battle to battle with injuries here? It's just not fair. And Optimus will also have his Energon swords, axes, and hooks here. All right. He also will have, obviously, he has flight because, again, Last Night Optimus or Age of Extinction till Last Night Optimus can still fly. And we'll also give him his Mech Tech shield, just the shielding as well, because, again, honestly, his tech and armor should already surpass the mech tech here, which are made to bypass the durability of Cybertronians here. Keep in mind, these blades actually go from 1000 degrees to 1832 degrees, which is enough to literally melt human flesh 11 times over. All right, so without further ado, we can actually get into the scaling portion here, because again, I consistently stated that Monsterverse is easily planetary with possible statements for star level as well here, but again, we'll keep it as consistent as possible with the planetary statements. So Optimus Prime would actually scale a significant portion above the Monsterverse, because he does scale to the Allspark. It's even noted that his Spark himself, or the Spark itself here within Optimus, is actually capable of you know, rivaling that of the Allspark. The Allspark and the Star Harvester are easily in the solar system to star level calibers here, which is actually pretty consistent here, with characters like the Fallen actually stating that the Allspark itself was able to eat entire supernovas in order to power itself up here. And even Decepticons like Starscream trying to replicate it thought that the sparks themselves were very close or the equivalent to stars, meaning that, you know, the sparks itself of even borderline fodder Cybertronians could even get to star level. Now, you also have other Autobots like Jazz, who would scale above the likes of Camshaft. As a matter of fact, he would scale above a plethora of Autobots and Decepticons here, minus Optimus, and possibly even I'd probably say Dark of the Moon and the Last Night cast. I would actually say Jazz is weaker than those portions of the cast here. Now, the reason why I say that is because Thundercracker actually beat Air Raid, Thundercracker, Cliff Jumper, and Smokescreen before RC stepped in. All right, so keep in mind, Camshaft is confirmed to be powered up and enhanced by the Allspark itself, meaning he's powered up by an artifact that can literally absorb the likes of supernovas. Now, again, he wouldn't have the full power of the Allspark, but he's at least significantly powered up by it, meaning you could either say he has planetary levels of armor and durability, or again, you could easily put this at star level, because again, the Allspark still retains the energy of stars and uses it on Cybertronians in order to enhance them. Now back to what I was saying here. Yeah, Jazz would easily scale above them. Jazz was able to manhandle and actually toy with characters like Blackout. Blackout is relativistic to characters like Wingblade and Ironhide, excuse me. who are basically pretty relative to each other. It's actually pretty interesting how Wingblade has that little bit of lore that he's literally confirmed to be the Ironhide of the skies. And we know Optimus relatively scales above them because of one particular feat here that takes place in Transformers, I believe, Defiance issue 3. Now, this is where the Decepticons actually try to ambush a collective Autobots, including the likes of Smokescreen, Bumblebee, Jazz, and Prowl, as well as RC and a couple other Autobots like Cliffjumper as well. But here's the thing, Brawl shoots them, and the only ones who really get out of there unscathed are Optimus and Jazz, while everyone else actually received a bit of cracking or at least some form of damage here. Optimus then goes on to actually defeat the likes of Starscream and the rest of his Decepticon team with utter ease here, actually going on to blitz Starscream in the novels as well here. Now, there's also the scaling towards Megatron. Megatron, even from the first movie, and again, he was known as the High Protectors of Cybertron, which again takes place like in the past before they really get to Earth here, was noted to be able, excuse me, I'm trying to figure out what I was about to say, was known to be able to destroy planets, like Coyote, he's known as a planet buster. Then there are Decepticons that actually are relative to Megatron, or at least first movie Megatron, like Shockwave, to which TF3 Optimus just straight up dog walks him. Like, it's absolutely insane here. So with that bit of scaling out of the way here, you could easily get the lower ends of Optimus to planetary pretty consistently, with his higher ends being solar system. So without further ado, let's begin here, and let's start off with the fodder. Now, obviously, we start off with Skullcrawlers and Warbats, and I'm gonna just keep it brief here because I realize that these videos take longer than it is anyway. But I hope you guys do enjoy like me giving detailed versions of these videos, because again, we do have to cover like a lot of monsters here, especially the ones that actually have some decent scaling here. And again, like the Skullcrawlers and Warbats, they're both honestly fodder. Like, the weakest version of Optimus canonically is the Cybertron version of him. And he would easily one-shot these guys, like no difficulty. Like, just barrel cannon or energon sword. Like, he could even take on a whole horde of these guys and fight them for weeks, and he still would be able to win. Methuselah, and again, I have to stress this enough, unfortunately, Methuselah gets dog walked. And again, I hate it. I really do. Like, with a whole passion, I hate it. Because Methuselah is like one of my favorite designs out of King of the Monsters. Like, he has the best design in my opinion, and he has so much potential, but unfortunately he gets dog walked. It sucks. Like, Optimus just again one-shots him. Nikika, same here, a whole lot of potential, but from what we've seen here, she got captured by humans. That ain't a good look. I'm just saying, it's not a good look here. And then Godzilla just like casually rips off the net and saves her and stuff, which again is good because it shows Godzilla does care about, you know, the Titans and stuff here. And she does have her camouflage and stuff like that. She has her ability to decrease her temperature and stuff to hide from, you know, heat seeking, or not heat seeking, you know, thermal technology and stuff like that. But again, Optimus one-shots. Now, the Mutos. And again, I've seen a lot of people use this to say that the Mutos could solo the Bayverse because of their EMPs here. But keep in mind, there are Decepticons within the Bayverse that can utilize EMPs. Blackout, Starscream, and Soundwave actually use EMPs consistently in their fights with the Autobots, and they're not affected by it. You even have a character like Jolt that can actually unleash electromagnetic pulses around his own teammates, and the best they get is like a shock. Like, their systems don't even go down unless he's fully concentrating on them. So even a wild EMP pulse, which is honestly what the Mutos have, would actually get dealt with. Now, Optimus honestly just exploits the 2v1 like Gamera, Nergigante, and Zilla do, but probably in a much smarter manner here. Getting the male Muto up into the air and then just dealing with him there. Like, I actually see Optimus just dealing with him right then and there, and then coming down on top of the female Muto, and possibly just coming down with a whole sort of judgment slash to the back of her head, ending it right then and there. And can we talk about how, like, the Mutos are probably the most exploited 2v1 in history? Like, dang. Like, Rathalos and Rathian have better, like, team dynamics than they do. Like, it's crazy. Now, this does mean round one just kind of gets breezed through, but I'm fine with that. Like, let's be real here. These are the fodder monsters. These are the lower tiers. Now, next off, we have the ones with some actual feats here, some decent feats. We got Behemoth. Now, in all honesty, in a real situation, I don't see Behemoth and Optimus coming to blows. I mean, Behemoth is a peaceful titan that actually benefits the environment. But Behemoth and Amalok, will include him in this one as well, just get one-shotted. Again, or two-shotted. You never know. Again, Amalok does have like the whole wood thing, and it would take Optimus a minute to figure it out. But keep in mind, again, his Energon swords are like burning hot, like 1,832 degrees at their highest. That's slicing through wood and possibly causing fire upon, contact as well. It's a very big possibility. And again, Behemoth kind of just gets just 2 barrel guns upside the head and it's done. Again, he would lose to TF1 and TF2 Optimus like low difficulty. Even again, past Optimus. Now, Teammate is where we actually get into the difficulty territory. And this one could actually go a couple ways here. Keep in mind, the way I usually have Teammate with the rest of them is that they fight in her environment. But again, Optimus isn't that kind of character that I could say that for, right? Because again, Zilla, Nergigante, and Gamera all have some aquatic adaptabilities to a degree, and they have the means to actually beat Tiamat underwater, which is why I put them in those scenarios. Optimus, best scenario is to kind of utilize his defenses, and you probably just have Tiamat wrap around him with his sword out. That's the best way I could see it here. Now, Cybertronians are capable of moving fluently underwater. That has been established in Revenge of the Fallen and in the deleted scenes that were actually supposed to be in the movie. Like, we were supposed to have aquatic fights here. I'm telling y'all, we shouldn't have let Michael Bay touch Transformers. I'm just saying. We've actually would have had a very fluent fight with characters like Depth Charge, possibly Sea Spray, and Tidal Wave. All right, these two were, Tidal Wave and Depth Charge were both leaked to be a part of the Revenge of the Fallen movie, but unfortunately, they got cut for some reason. Like, we would have had more Autobots and more fights. Like, it's ridiculous. And keep in mind, in the last night, we do see Optimus and Bumblebee fight briefly underwater, and Optimus is actually moving very fluently. Yes, he just wanted the staff and tried to get away so he can actually, get it to Quintessa. But we actually do see that Optimus and Bumblebee could easily fight underwater fluently. So, yeah, they can definitely fight Teammate underwater to a decent degree here. However, Optimus's shielding is going to be coming in very handy here, as Teammate doesn't really have a way to, like, bypass it unless she has, like, a freezing or a very negative temperature power. Now, let's move on to Rodan. Now, Rodan here and Mothra are going to be very difficult because they are flying titans. Now, Rodan especially is because he has, his sonic booms. And those are definitely going to be, throw Optimus for a loop when they get into an aerial fight here. Now, here's the thing, right? Optimus can actually touch Rodan here. Yeah, I know, it's actually pretty crazy here how they're able to touch a volcanic pteranodon, right? And the thing is, did you know in the Cybertronian comics, towards the end of them, before they got to Earth and stuff like that, him and Ironhide actually had lava, Cybertronian lava or molten lava, which again is made to pretty much melt them or mold them, because again, some Cybertronians are built. This is how the Constructicons likely were made and stuff like that. And Optimus and Ironhide, were able to come out of that just fine. Now again, keep in mind, Cybertron is superior to Earth in like just about anything, including, temperatures. So this means that they're probably tanking something that's, let's just say, 2 times hotter than a regular volcano. So this means that, Optimus should be fine here against Rodan. And if he's fine against Rodan, easily fine against Mothra. But again, I would give this round mid to high difficulty because he's going to rely on his defenses a lot more, especially when it comes to Tiamat and definitely Rodan. Now, let's move on to the heavy hitter, the heavy duo. And we got Muto Prime. Now, in all honesty, I think Optimus has the best chance of adapting to Muto Prime a lot quicker than possibly the other three. I mean, Zilla Jr. is smart enough to realize, like, oh, he can use earthquakes. I'm just going to adapt to that and use them against you. And then you also have the sheer fact, if Optimus understands that Muto Prime is pretty much creating earthquakes, I mean, he has a higher battle IQ. Plus, he's a million years old and has been fighting a war for millions of years. So, yeah, why wouldn't he be able to understand that? So, yeah, this would mean Optimus will probably take to the skies a lot quicker and just outmaneuver Muto Prime. Probably treating him just like the Driller bot and just pretty much peppering him over and over again, disabling any vital parts of him or pretty much injuring the vital parts of him before coming in with a finishing blow. And again, keep in mind his only firepower is his shield cannon or his shield barrel gun, which again would exceed the mech tech, which is meant to bypass durability. So you could easily put that above hitting Muto Prime's vital areas and stuff, causing significant amounts of damage, and possibly even being able to at least crack the shell enough for Optimus Prime to punch an Energon Blade or his sort of judgment through him. Alright? So yeah, you have that. Next up is Mechagodzilla. Keep in mind, Optimus is still able to damage first movie Megatron, who has a self-regenerating dark matter body. It's absolutely insane. The core of his chest is also self-regenerating. Mechagodzilla also doesn't have too many things to affect Godzilla. Now, I know a lot of people say that Cybertronians are weak to like missiles and guns and stuff like that, but yeah, they actually explain this in the first movie, and I want y'all to listen to it real quick.
Stasis since 1935. Your great-great-grandfather made one of the greatest discoveries in the history of mankind.
Fact is, you're looking at the source of the modern age. Microchip, lasers, spaceflight, cars, all reverse engineered by studying him. NVE-1. That's what.
So, it's not only confirmed that they reverse engineered Megatron's technology, but that it's applied to everything in the modern age. Space travel, flight, everything was reverse engineered from Megatron, and possibly even the Allspark, considering they were studying that and utilizing its energies as well here. So in all honesty, would have to say Optimus definitely clears Mechagodzilla with a high difficulty, and definitely with Muto Prime as well. And now we're at the end. Finally. Woo! And yeah, we got the big boys. The Fatal Four. The main four. The Alpha Four. And we're going to start off like we always do. Kong, Beast Glove, and Beast Axe. And I mean, whew. Boy, oh boy, do I like this fight. I really do. Because it shows the Monsterverse technology. It really does here. You might say, oh, well, what about Mechagodzilla? Keep in mind, Mechagodzilla was made by, in all honesty, a pretty trash company. They didn't have what was really needed. He kept failing and shutting down. Meanwhile, this is a prototype Beast Glove, right? And it's working fine. So Monarch has more advanced in the I'll probably say this is pretty close to Bayverse. These guys saw that bit here. Yeah, he can use his Stealth Force mode pretty easily. And keep in mind, they have to apply this to other Cybertronians, as this was kind of a new thing. So you have the Cybertronians pretty much still being more advanced in the Monsterverse, but the Beast Glove tech is showing that it's more advanced than Mechagodzilla. So imagine when Monarch takes the glove back and then they perfect it. It's going to be insane. Like, but back to this fight at hand here, Optimus just outspeeds here. He can definitely defend from the Beast Glove, but let's say a couple strikes on the Beast Glove and the axe are definitely going to be able to, drop those shields eventually, because again, the force plus the strength, and again, the scaling, he still is able to hurt Optimus here. Yeah, I do think he would be able to get through the shield, but again, by the time he probably does that, Optimus is definitely going to take advantage of him and just take him out here. Now, next off, we have, well, Yeah, Godzilla. And again, my answer still remains the same. It's 50-50. Like, you have the possibility of winning here, and you have the possibility of losing here. And again, even if these two get into a rock'em sock'em drag out fight, neither one's coming out unscathed. I mean, Optimus could collapse from the damage he sustained, and same with Godzilla. He can collapse from the wounds he sustained. I mean, it's pretty simple here. However, when we get into the higher two, Ghidorah and Shimu, yeah, it's over. Optimus's run is done here. And this is because, again, Cybertronians are vulnerable to extreme cold temperatures. And Shimu's capable of causing the Ice Age and causing frostbite to titans like Kong. We actually see this in the trailer because you can actually see when he's like, flexing the beast glove, or at least, examining it and stuff like that. His arm looks damaged, like it's been frostbitten before. And we can actually see here that, yeah, in the trailer, that Shimu's frostbite is overpowering, Kong's arm and stuff, causing it pain. So in all honesty, yeah, Shimu would probably take this mid difficulty. Same with Ghidorah. His energy absorption properties and his regeneration make him a nightmare for Optimus. Now you might say, well, but didn't he deal with Megatron? Yes. Megatron does have self-regenerating dark matter armor and stuff like that. However, Ghidorah's regeneration is faster. All right, it's more, you cut a head off, it's back. All right, so yeah, I'm not seeing how Optimus gets past the energy absorption, the gravity beams, the storm as well is going to mess up his flying and stuff like that. Yeah, Ghidorah's the ultimate threat here, just as much as Shimu is. So, final results, 79.9% chance, because he could still lose to Godzilla and possibly even Kong, so I could drop it lower, but I think these results are pretty much pretty accurate in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think down below. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and y'all have a blessed day. Peace.